Patrick was born into a world of privilege, the kind of life many dream of but few experience. His parents were wealthy business people living in the serene suburbs of Nairobi. Their 4 children, 2 boys and 2 girls, had everything they could ever ask for. The best schools, comfortable homes, and vacations that spanned continents. To the world, they were the picture of success, a family that had it all together. Patrick, the second-born son, grew up shielded from struggle. Life was smooth, predictable, and carefully planned. When he finished high school, his parents proudly sent him abroad to one of the most prestigious universities. He was to study business, return home, and one day help manage the family empire. But fate had its own plans. At university, Patrick met Melinda, a beautiful, soft-spoken young woman whose kindness stood out even in a sea of strangers. She worked part-time at a restaurant that specialized in native, organic African dishes. It was the kind of place that reminded Patrick of home. The aroma of chapati, stewed beans, and spiced tea would fill the air, pulling him in almost daily. Melinda's life, however, was far from Patrick's. She came from a poor family back home. By a twist of fortune, she had been taken in by a wealthy family as a domestic worker, and they had later flown her abroad to help manage their children and oversee their restaurant business. Her employers were kind, but her life revolved around work and responsibility. Still, she carried herself with quiet dignity, her humility drawing people in. It was over countless brief exchanges, a smile here, a chat there, that Patrick and Melinda's friendship blossomed into something more. Their worlds were different, but their hearts met somewhere in between. For Patrick, Melinda represented warmth and sincerity. For Melinda, Patrick represented a world she could never have imagined belonging to. But love, as it often does, came with complications. When Melinda discovered she was pregnant, her world turned upside down. She knew the consequences. Her job depended on her image and capacity to work, and her employers would not tolerate such distractions. Patrick was devastated when she told him. He wanted to help, but fear gripped him. Fear of his parents' reaction, fear of disappointing them, fear of the weight of responsibility. Melinda, with little choice, decided to return home. Her employers gave her a few months to work, enough to save something small for a new beginning. She returned home heartbroken, but resolute, determined to raise her child with or without Patrick's help. Her parents were disappointed, but they soon softened. When her son was born, his innocent cry filled their humble home with light and laughter. Meanwhile, Patrick faced his own storm abroad. For months, he wrestled with guilt and shame. How could he tell his parents that he, the pride of the family, had gotten a girl from a poor background pregnant? Eventually, he could bear it no longer. He gathered the courage to tell them. The news hit his parents like a thunderclap. His father's silence was heavy, his mother's tears spoke volumes. "She's not from our kind of family," his father finally said, shaking his head. "You were sent there to study, not to bring shame." The conversation ended with disappointment, but something unexpected began to shift in their hearts over time. Months passed, and as pictures and videos of their grandson began to reach them, their anger slowly turned into curiosity, and then acceptance. Blood, after all, was thicker than pride. A year later, Patrick graduated and returned home. Nervous, but eager to meet his son. The moment he laid eyes on the little boy, his heart melted. He held the baby close, feeling an overwhelming rush of love and purpose. Melinda, though cautious at first, could see the genuine remorse and love in his eyes. Patrick's parents, having come to terms with the situation, did something that surprised everyone. They offered to support Melinda. "If she is to be part of this family," Patrick's mother said softly, "she must stand on her own 2 feet." They sponsored her education, enrolling her in a reputable college. Years went by. Melinda worked hard, juggling motherhood and studies with grace. Her determination impressed everyone, even Patrick's once skeptical father. When she finally graduated, Patrick's parents offered her a managerial position in one of their businesses. It was more than a job. It was a gesture of acceptance. Melinda thrived in her role, proving herself capable, intelligent, and humble. The once sharp divide between rich and poor began to blur. Her parents, too, found comfort in her success. The daughter they once thought had brought them shame had in truth become their pride. And then came the day everyone had waited for: Patrick and Melinda's wedding. It was a beautiful ceremony held in the lush gardens of Nairobi. The air was filled with laughter, music, and joy. Patrick's parents stood proudly beside them, their earlier disapproval replaced by deep affection. Melinda's parents wept tears of gratitude, overwhelmed that the same daughter they once thought had brought them shame was now walking down the aisle as a bride, confident, radiant, and loved. As Patrick and Melinda exchanged vows, the golden sun dipped slowly behind the hills, painting the sky with hues of amber and rose. It was as if the universe itself was celebrating their union. 2 souls who had weathered storms, defied odds, and emerged stronger together. When Patrick looked into Melinda's eyes, he whispered, "You were my home all along." And Melinda smiled, replying softly, "Sometimes life breaks us to rebuild us better." The crowd erupted in applause as they sealed their vows. From that day forward, Melinda's story became a testament to hope, proof that love could bridge the deepest divides, that mistakes could turn into miracles, and that joy, no matter how delayed, always finds its way home. Their journey, once clouded by disappointment and fear, had finally found its sunrise.
Your support keeps us going. Subscribe for more inspiring stories every week.